My name is Sandra. I'm 32 years old, and I live in a small apartment in Lagos, Nigeria. But my life wasn't always like this. A few years ago, I thought I was the luckiest woman in the world. I believed I had met a billionaire. I believed I was about to marry into wealth. I thought my life was set, but it was all a lie. I married a man who pretended to be rich. He promised me the world, and I ended up losing everything. This is my story. I met David at a wedding. It was my cousin's wedding, and I was one of the bridesmaids. He came in a black SUV, wearing a nice suit and a gold wristwatch. He smelled like money. People were greeting him with respect. The MC even introduced him as one of the biggest young businessmen in Lagos. David was tall, handsome, and confident. He spoke softly, but with power. Everyone around wanted to take pictures with him. Later that night, he walked up to me and said, "I noticed you." I was shy, but happy. He gave me his number and asked me to meet him for dinner the next day. Our first date was at a very expensive restaurant. I had never been to a place like that before. He came with a driver. He wore a designer watch and carried 2 phones. He ordered expensive meals like it was nothing. He told me he owned several companies: construction, real estate, and oil. He said he lived in Banana Island. I remember asking him why he was so humble, and he laughed. He said, "Real money doesn't make noise." For the first time in my life, I felt special. He treated me like a queen. He sent me flowers, took me shopping, and even gave me some cash to spoil myself. My friends were jealous. My family said, "Sandra, don't let this man go. This is your blessing." 3 months after we met, David proposed to me. He said he didn't want to waste time because he knew I was the one. He bought me a big diamond ring. I still don't know where that ring came from. He promised me a big wedding. He said, "You will never have to work again. I will take care of you." I was in love. I didn't ask too many questions. We fixed a date. My family was excited. Everyone respected me. I felt like a celebrity. The wedding was loud, big cars, big hall, expensive drinks. But here's something I didn't notice then. Most of the things were borrowed or on credit. David said he didn't want me to stress about anything. He said he had it all under control. He paid for everything. Or at least that's what I thought. We got married in front of hundreds of people. That night, I thought I had stepped into a life of wealth. After the wedding, I moved into an apartment. Not in Banana Island like he had claimed, but in Lekki. He told me the Banana Island house was under renovation. I believed him. Some days, the generator would go off for hours. I asked him why, and he said, "They are fixing it." I started noticing that he was always borrowing cars. One day, I saw the so-called SUV being taken away by someone else. When I asked, he said it was a company car. But love made me blind. I didn't want to believe anything was wrong. One morning, a man came to the house with a bill. He said David owed him N2.5 million for wedding drinks. I was shocked. I thought David paid for everything. When I asked him, he got angry. He shouted, "Do you think I'm broke? Don't ever question me." I cried that night, but I still stayed. I told myself maybe he was just going through something. Then more bills came. The decorator, the caterer, the hall, even the ring. David started asking me to borrow money from my friends. He said, "Just for now. When a big deal lands, everything will be fine." I didn't want to embarrass him, so I started borrowing. Soon, I used up all my savings. I started selling my clothes and jewelry to feed us. The man who once took me to fancy restaurants couldn't even buy bread. He became a different person, angry, moody, and violent with words. One afternoon, I followed him secretly. He told me he was going to his office, but he ended up in a mechanic workshop. He wasn't a CEO. He was working as a middleman, helping people buy and sell used cars. The suits, the cars, the phones, all borrowed. The big talk about oil and construction, all lies. My heart broke. I sat there shaking. That night, I asked him to tell me the truth, and he finally said it. I lied because I knew no woman would look at me if I told the truth. Things got worse. Creditors started coming to the house. They insulted us. They even came with police once. My friends disappeared. My family started blaming me for not listening to their warning signs. David became more aggressive. He blamed me for everything. He said, "If you loved me, you wouldn't care about money." But this wasn't love anymore. It was suffering. One night, after another fight, he left the house and didn't come back. Days later, I got a call. He had been arrested for fraud. He had collected money from people, pretending to be a big investor. I was embarrassed. People started calling me the fake billionaire's wife. I lost my job because of the scandal. I had to move out of the house and start again from zero. I went back to my parents. I took a small job in a shop. I learned to live again without shame. I realized how dangerous it is to trust people just because they look rich. I learned that real wealth doesn't always make noise, and fake people know how to act rich. I stopped blaming myself. I started working hard, step by step. Today, I'm not rich, but I'm peaceful. David is still facing his case in court. I haven't seen him in 2 years. If you're listening to this story, I want to tell you something. Don't be fooled by what you see online or at parties. Some people will do anything to look rich. Ask questions. Protect yourself. Don't let anyone pressure you with fake appearances. My name is Sandra. I married a fake billionaire. I lost almost everything. But I didn't lose myself. If my story can help one woman avoid this kind of pain, then it's worth telling.